Hi, Bernhard.
Hey, Carsten. So
So the second
to
video of the scaling plan, huh? We scaled
yes,
everything up and now we scale everything down, right?
yeah. Yeah, let's maybe switch over to your system and
Yeah,
see the basis where we are at the moment.
yeah. So like in the last video, we see the failover cluster manager. Here our 10 AVD session hosts are running. We have 161 active sessions, so there is also Bernhard logged in and me too, because we want to show some specialities, and for that we need a user screen that we can see. So coming back to our scaling plan, in the moment it's disabled because we didn't know when we are coming to the scaling plan. Let's go in here. You see it's disabled, but first we have to modify it. So in the first part of the scaling plan video, we showed you how to scale up, but we didn't talk much about the scale down options. So let's go in here.
Yeah, and we
Next
need
is,
to adjust the timings, right, for so that we actually see something.
okay, let's go to the next phase, the peak hours.
Right. Yeah, and we will, you'll define under the peak hours, then when they will start, what the distribution of the load balancing will be taken care of, right? So if you want to fill up one host after the other, or whether you want to do the breadth kind of stuff,
Yeah, this
and
is
still
this one.
the same capacity threshold applies. So I would say, right, so for the yeah, it's a little bit on how you want to really distribute the load. I think I'm personally a fan of breadth first,
Mhm.
because it's giving a little bit more, it's distributing the load a little bit
Yeah,
more rather than filling up hosts. But that's up to you, right? So, and the capacity
yeah, we
threshold
can do
is
breadth
still
first.
as described before, right? So, if not all of the hosts are up or required during the peak hours, right, there will still be the scaling taking place, um, and with the defined capacity threshold
Yeah, for
from the previous
example,
setup.
we have 160 users. We're thinking
Hmm.
80% are working normally in the
Hmm.
at the weekday, and if there are only if it's holiday time, maybe only
Hmm.
100 will log on. So we don't have all the machines, and there can still people coming late or
Hmm.
coming to work or start working, and then we
Hmm.
will get more machines. So not all 10 machines will run,
Hmm.
only the amount we need to have our users comfortably working. And breadth first is the
Hmm.
users will be distributed over the host evenly, right? So
Hmm.
we will take that, and we can't change the 60% here. So if we specify a
Hmm.
percentage in the ramp up phase, we have to take it here, right? So
Hmm.
it will
Yeah.
not calculate on a different algorithm at this phase. We are coming to the ramp down phase. The ramp down
Hmm.
phase should be outside of the busiest hours when you want to save some money, and you can only
Hmm.
save money with AVD if the hosts are down. So
Right. So the first people are leaving the building already, right? And we, they may, you know, close down the sessions. They have to their session hosts. And let's simulate that from a timing perspective. Now it's 1600 or 7 minutes past 4. So, okay,
yeah, let's
that makes
do,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So because we have to explain a bit depth first, load balancing algorithm by scaling down, we can again, there are also maybe people logging in. So
Hmm.
what's to do with them? That's how I interpret it, how it's
Interpret.
called, how I understand it. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So minimum percentage normally here was at 10. And we in the last video
Mm.
we put a 0 here because there was one host already started
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
turned on the
So
scaling plan.
Although, I mean, you could hover over the information with a mouse pointer, and it would tell you that this setting is also not only for the ramp down phase, but also for the off-peak hours, right? So
Yeah.
this is describing how many hosts are running even when we are at the off-peak hours. With 0%, that means all of the session hosts can be shut down,
So
right?
maximum money saved, but if a user
Mhm,
comes, there is not a machine there, so it has to
mhm.
be started and so on. So should we put 10% here or 0?
Let's leave it to 0 because it would then, well, in order for my experience, I would leave 0 because then we would see every host is shut down if every session is gone, right?
Okay.
So,
So the capacity
oh
threshold,
yeah.
this is a bit complex. And for us, it took
Mhm.
us a while to understand it, right, Bernhard?
Yeah. So let's think about it, right? So the virtual or the scaling plan for AVD starts working, right?
Hmm.
When the capacity threshold after a node is being shut down is still, serving 90%. Or let's say I would, with the remaining session hosts after one cycle of shutdown will be still, 90% or higher,
Hmm.
right?
So in the example, normally there is a
Hmm.
60%, but if we would have
Yeah.
that, we have to log off of our
Mm.
161 users, we have
Yeah.
to log off over 70 so that we come
Mm.
down to, I think we calculated
Yeah.
96 or something.
Hmm.
So this is a 90%. We will see what happens. Then we have two possibilities to force log off users. Yeah.
Hmm.
We go with the default setting. If we go to no, we have
There is no, there is no disconnecting or there is no shutdown procedure for that happening, right?
yeah,
So if there is an active session, then the session host remains, right? So
exactly.
this is how it is described, right? But
And we
in
want to
order
be
to say,
unfriendly. We want to kick out the users, right?
yeah, and yeah, maybe that's,
Okay.
not something that you want to do, but at least, it gives you, or it would give you the option for.
Yeah. So I will change this. So if a session host is due to shut down, so there will be a drain mode and a user is still logged on, it
Mhm,
will get a message, and the message will say what we have here in the notification. Um, and we will see that in our demo. So we will try to get your session that is logged on, that the message is coming, and that you will be forced out, but not in 30 minutes because we don't have the time for that. After 5 minutes. So I modified this to 5 minutes and the message also. Okay.
mhm.
Next, this is our peak off hours. Basically, when users come try to log on in off-peak hours, when will he scale and start another host? So this is this settings, as far as I understand. Okay,
Mhm, mhm.
so if 90% threshold is there and more users come, he will start another session. But we don't want a lot of session hosts in the off-peak or in the ramp down phase. So let's go with it. So now the plan is modified, but it's not enabled. So I still have to go here. No, it was not here. I have to enable the plan. And we do that not here. I go to the
Yeah,
Azure
you go
Virtual Desktop.
to the host pool, and
I was in the host pool and I didn't find it.
no, I
So let's go
think
back.
well, okay. Now let's go. Then here is the scaling plan, and here you do the
Yeah, here it
assignment.
is. I didn't find it. So
Mhm,
now the scaling plan is there. We have
mhm,
already 415. So now it's 416. So it
mhm,
should be there.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
But nothing will happen because all our users are still working, and
Right.
it could throw some out, but there are still, we have to come down to the 90% or less than 90% of the sessions,
Mhm.
Bernhard, right?
Yep. Yep.
So now you will you will disconnect some of them, or
Hmm. Yeah. Do you want to
at least
switch
that
to my
was the
screen,
plan.
or do you want to
We can switch to
uh,
your screen, but
okay.
then the recording
And
will
then
take.
do it yourself, right? So click on the
So I
active
will,
session.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
will
then
go to active session. So we see all the sessions here. There are a lot.
mhm,
Yeah, there's all 162 sessions. And at last you are there and I'm there because it's
mhm.
alphabetically and all the other users have an A here. So what should I do? Should I take
No, you
15
take
sessions
17 users, and
randomly?
yeah, because that, that's is sort of no, you don't need to do it, because yeah, if you look up, it will be the different session hosts already, so you can
Ah,
just,
you're right here.
mm,
I did that. You are so right. So I can take just,
yeah,
how much are they? So these are
yeah,
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So let's do two more. 16.
mhm. Yeah,
Should be
let's
16,
do
right? Let
16 and then do a disconnect, maybe,
so
right?
I
So
did
we
one
try to
more.
keep it at the edge, and then and then kick it over.
I did 17, I have to confess here. So we see how
Well,
it's
yeah, let's see.
disconnecting the users.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back here and we will see that this number is going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, already 11 are disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I disconnected 17 or 16. So we have still 145 active sessions. The
Mm-hmm.
number we calculated, was it 144?
I think it was
Yeah, but we
144.
didn't calculate with 162, right?
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyways, I mean, let's see where we can dig out information, right? Because at some point in time, it's not so easy to, at some point in time, something happens, but you may not know what happened exactly, right? Why did it happen, or why did nothing happen?
Mhm.
And log analytics is a good way of getting that information also for the scaling plans. So
So where should
you
I
may want,
go?
yeah, maybe use, you type in here monitor in the search window at the top
I can do
for
that.
Azure Monitor, right? Take Azure
Which
Monitor on the top.
this one,
Yep,
this one,
there's one.
the
Yep.
monitor.
And there is logs on the left-hand side.
Here, this one.
Mhm. And click away that welcome dialog in order to
How
get
could I?
to the query window, right? Selecting a scope if you have multiple subscriptions. So do it for the whole Azure subscription here on top. Make the
This
cross
one?
here and yeah, and say apply. That's okay. All good. And now on the left-hand side, you would see the desktop virtualization host pools. And we configured, the analytics for the host pools that we
Mm-hmm.
had, and we may show you or right afterwards where you can do that. But you do a double click on, yes, on the WVD autoscale evaluation pooled stuff, and it would put, that table on the right hand side in the query editor, and you can
Yeah.
run it right away. Maybe not the last 24 hours, so you can do the time
Okay.
range
Too
in order
late.
to, yeah, to get less, to only the last 30 minutes probably
Yeah.
is a good thing. um, yeah, so you enable the configuration that will uh, force log off users after 5 minutes in
Yeah.
disconnected state, right?
Yeah. There is a
And
group
that might,
policy that will, yeah, as you explained
yeah,
it. So they should
yeah.
be gone after 5 minutes. They should be logged off, but it's not happening yet.
Yeah, we probably fast forward the video a little bit for for that. So stay tuned, and after some time we should see that. Maybe you can show the group policy where you set it,
I can show that.
or is that
Let's.
too difficult at the moment?
No, it's not. I just have to switch the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go to edit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the policies, administrative policies, and there is a remote desktop settings. I open it a bit more.
So for the terminal server folks, you're probably already familiar with the group policies for configuring the session management or the session handling. You probably are familiar with most of the settings here for the, I think it's under session time limits, Carsten.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking for
Um,
time, but I didn't find time
yeah,
in the first. I didn't saw
um,
that.
yeah,
So
and
here,
yes, correct. And here you see that, so you set the time limit and you set it to 5 minutes, right? So that's the
yeah,
setting. There may be other settings that make sense, right? So for example, how long can a session be active, or to handle the idle time of remote desktop sessions. All of these, may make sense, or in a combination of these may make sense in order to free up hosts
yeah.
and to save money, right?
Yeah, and normally if you have a, let's say an RDS farm or a Citrix farm, you are maybe not used to kicking off the users because you don't pay for the VMs in with Azure Virtual Desktop. There's a cost involved, so you have to think about it. And here are some helpful group policies. So let's go back, and 5 minutes are long, right? He disconnected them. See here, we have
Yep.
now 0 disconnected sessions, and our total session count went down from 162 to 145. So
Mhm.
if we go back to the monitoring, we maybe
Mhm.
can see
There you go.
there is a next one. So we are at 89.3%. Let's see if he says he can do something. This is below the minimum capacity threshold of 90, but if any session hosts are drained, deallocated, the maximum capacity threshold of 90 will be exceeded. So you're right,
Mhm.
Bernhard. We have
Mhm.
to turn off more.
So let's go back to the
More.
calculation, please.
Yeah, we
Right.
switch to your screen.
So what I did, or what we said, was 16 users per host, 90% of it. And as we have 10 hosts, and our calculation was this is a 144 users, right?
Mhm.
But the 90% needs to be there after one host, right? So this is the full capacity, it's 10 session hosts, right? But we want to shut down one, so we would need to have the capacity for 9 session hosts after shutdown, right? So
Mhm.
the real number, where we need to get to is 129, right? So this is the capacity we need to get down to, not from a 145 or 144, right? Or 43, it's 129 we need to get to, right? So doing the maths would be 143 minus 129. We need to shut down or disconnect 4 other sessions, right? So let's do
So
that, and then
2, 4, 6. So I go
2.
back to my screen. I
Yeah, okay.
already have prepared it.
Okay.
So these are, I think it's 17. So we don't have a small, we don't do a small error and we have to do it again. So I now
Mm-hmm.
did, I think 17, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Maybe it was also 18, but we will see.
Okay. Yeah,
But
well, we are at least
just to be sure, we are
on the
already at
safe on the safe side, right? So that's okay. Okay, but
uh,
it's and I think
yeah, now it
that
should be
was
okay.
yeah, that was one thing that took us also quite a bit in order to figure that out. But you know,
But it's good in the
um,
video because we would be
yeah,
not the only one who have problems with that.
yeah, probably, right.
I hope.
I mean, it just turns out that we are not the smart asses, right?
Cook
But
here.
you know,
Look here,
yeah,
not cook here. Look here. Cook here is German, so look here. One
yeah,
host is now here in drain mode and he will kick out all the 11 users that are left
hmm
here. So
right.
if I reload, we should see the number going down. Yeah, so it's already in drain mode. That means
hmm
new users will be accepted, and I think he will kick out the users. At least it was that way
Yeah.
uh,
So yeah,
a
they
while
will
ago.
receive the the log off message, right? So you will be logged off within 5 minutes. Please save your work before you are kicked out, right? So that is basically what will happen.
So
And from a
let's.
log analytics workspace, I think we should, or from the logs, we should see at least something kicking in.
Yeah,
So
this is still the old message.
okay, well
So we
then we
should
need to be
be at,
patient
let's
a little
say,
bit
something
longer.
below 80, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So let's wait a little bit. Maybe the query comes up.
There is
There you go.
something, 233,
Right.
79-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So we have here, this is below the
No, no,
minimum.
yes.
This is a
Yeah.
message.
Yeah. Let's see the message. 127 sessions. The below capacity is, this is below the capacity of 90%. So one session host can be drained and deallocated. And that's what happened, right? So it's
Yeah.
not deallocated yet, but it is drained. So after 5 minutes, we should see on the right-hand side one VM go down.
Okay, so let's see. Here is the drain mode. Let's
Mm-hmm.
refresh if already some users are out. No, but we all, you have the magic button with the videos. You can fast forward or
Right.
speed it up, Bernhard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another one draining. Look here.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Why is that? More users are logged off?
Yeah, so, remember, because the users that are now on that host will be logged off as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they are active sessions, right? So, and now we will log off due to the shutdown of node number 5, we will have 11 people less, right? And
Mm-hmm.
as you may have, you know, went a little bit over the last time with
Yeah,
disconnecting 18
two times.
users, and that would, give us maybe the next cycle, right? Which is
Yeah, yeah.
now 140 sessions, right? So you sort
Yeah,
of,
we are just below the number, so across 9
right,
active session hosts. So we can
right.
shut down another one.
Hmm. Yeah.
But then, yeah, maybe then the next 11 ones will, it's like how you call it, avalanche in
Like,
English.
yeah, or like
So
some
it's,
sort of a domino effect that you
yeah.
have here, right? Because you are, with the shutdown process, you're reducing the number, and then maybe some other mechanism is kicking in. And it's,
Mm-hmm.
it's in my opinion, from the documentation, it is not as straightforward, right? And it would be a little bit difficult to explain it, if you haven't seen it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so but I think, from a working perspective, it makes sense to do it sort of that way, right? Because, well, what session host should we drain, right? Or what session host should we shut down, right? There is no
Mm-hmm.
best choice, to be honest. I mean, the best choice would be the one that is having 0 users. But hey,
We
how
don't have
often
one
will
with 0 users.
no, how often
If,
will that be the case? And
yeah,
there
if
is no
people
sort of,
go,
Right.
Yeah.
There is no live migration of a user session to another working session host, right? So that's not
Mm.
working from a technological perspective. I agree that would be a fine thing, but we don't have it yet. Right. So you still might need to educate your users a bit, when the work hours are sort of over. And how often they should save their time, right? I mean, they can
Yeah.
always go back and connect back to a host to do their work, but there still might be, some that are need to be disconnected just for
Yeah.
saving money.
So we have to wait a bit so that it's kicking out the users. It would be also nice to see what happened on a user side. So on the node 6 here, you
Hmm.
are logged in.
Hmm.
If you go here into the users, you are logged in and I'm logged in. So
Right.
it would be cool if we could force the
Hmm.
algorithm to shut down node 6.
Right.
Problem is
So
how
what
to
you,
do that.
yeah, I have an idea on how you could do that, right? Which is manually log off users from node 6 so that it is a good candidate for, being one
We
of
will
the
do that.
hosts that has not really many not many users on,
Yeah.
right? And
You
it
see
would
here?
be a good candidate for being the one that is released.
Yeah.
So 11 is sort of okayish, I would say, but delete,
Now we
log off
will go
some users.
lower because you see here we are now here at 9 users. He is draining the host. Now we are at 0. Also here at 0. And
Right.
you see here the node 5 is already turned off. So I will try to log off some users here. So this should be a good candidate,
Hmm.
yeah, to drain next. So
Hmm.
we'll say log off users, log off.
Hmm.
So it should now have not 11 but 7 or so.
Hmm.
So let's go back. Here we are. 103.
Hmm.
So that should be a number where he will shut off another one. Here we see on the right side, we see that these two session hosts are off now. So they are not running anymore. They are not, um, yeah, spending money. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not sure. Maybe it's enough, or maybe we need to go
No,
down
we
to
need more.
100.
It's 80. It's 80.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
go down to 100.
So
So you need to
let's get rid
kick
of
out
three,
3
three,
others.
4. Yeah. So we want them on this host. Oh, let's do 4 or even 5. Let's
No, no,
only
no, 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 don't do so many, right? So that should be okay, yeah, right?
4 is okay.
Yeah, don't make it so obvious for the algorithm. I mean, well,
Yeah, but we want to show that and not wait for another hour.
yeah, there.
So it's now 99.
Mhm.
So let's have a look here. Yeah, it recognized it.
Mm.
And nothing happened here yet. So, oh, here,
No.
see here. Now it's done.
Mhm.
So now there should be something happening on your host, or
So the
doing
message has
something.
arrived.
So I see the message. I will switch. So you see here, this is Bernhard's session.
Hmm.
And we have from auto scaling, you will be logged off in 5 minutes. Make sure to save your work. Bernhard,
Hmm. Yep.
save your work. So here we see the 3 sessions will go away. You are still logged in your host. So I think the auto log off will come the next 1-2 minutes. And then we will get rid of another host. And I would say we can go to the end of the session. So if more and more users will leave the host, there will also be triggered an evaluation again, and then it will shut down a host,
Okay.
right?
See you and
See you
see
in
you
the
in the
next
next
one.
session.
Bye.